Nice. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Let's see. Let's share this to YouTube or to Facebook. Um, we are live. Oh, hey, whoever's here. Just sharing it to Facebook and other places. Let's see. Copy the link. Oh, whoever's here left. That's fun. We'll wait for a couple people to show up and then we'll start. Hope nobody slipped and fell today, as it's icy. Scraped my car. Took my kids over to my parents' house. Had to scrape my car again. Hello, people who are watching. Say hello so I know who's here. I'm in my office at the Y today, so that's fun. Ooh, more and more people. Say hello in the comments so I know who's here and who's not. Talk about turns today for a little while. Dig in. What's happening? Jacob. Jacob Hoff, I'm assuming. I am at the Y for a little while today. They had to take my temperature before I could get in. That's what I figured. Jacob, how's it going? How's school now that they started? We'll wait a few more minutes. If you guys have ideas what you want to talk about other than just turns, let me know. Has anybody done the workout yet? And then workout number 5. Because you should. It's not too bad. Push-ups got a little tough for me. But. All right, you guys are in here. Do you want to talk about flip turns first or open turns first? Let me know. We'll go with a vote. We'll be democratic about it. Let's see. I'm allowed to ask questions in here? Oh, weird. You can do it after the live video. Good luck. Open turns. We can talk about open turns. All right. Well, you guys know you got to touch 2 hands for when you do open turns. Biggest thing for open turns is that it doesn't matter if it's like if you're coming, say you're doing an IM, right? You're butterfly to butterfly. So say you're doing 200. Butterfly in, butterfly out, butterfly in, backstroke out, breaststroke in, breaststroke out, breaststroke in, freestyle. All those turns are almost exactly the same. There's a tiny, tiny difference in the butterfly to backstroke turn. And that's the only thing you change is you don't flip at the very end. Almost everybody touches the wall and turns this way to drop their elbow. You have to make sure when you touch the wall, your elbow comes back, your shoulders and your hips stay square on the wall, and so you go straight backwards. And then say you're doing a butterfly to butterfly turn. You're here, you just twist as you push off. Butterfly to backstroke, you touch here, drop your elbow, go straight backwards, you just push off. That's all. That's the only difference. Almost everybody you see at our level of swimming turns their hips and their shoulders when they start bringing their legs in, and that takes up too much space. If you bring your knees straight in underneath your body, you're taking up less area, and so you're pushing against less water. If you are going sideways, it means your legs are turning and pushing against all that water instead of coming up behind your knees. You also want to stay as low as possible and as small as possible. You see a lot of kids, especially little kids, grab the wall, pull themselves up, then turn around. When you hit the wall, this is as close as your like shoulders should get to the wall. You shouldn't pull yourself in at all. If you go here, bring your legs in, go straight back. No part of you should lift up higher than you are when you touch the wall, essentially. Your chest should go straight backwards. Your legs come up underneath your body. You need to be small. The smaller you are, the faster you're going to be able to rotate around. Knowing that, what questions do you guys have about open turns? Do you have questions about your open turn specifically? We can address that. No questions about open turns? Okay. Boom, we can move on. Oh, struggle and fly to back. It just takes repetition. The hands, elbow, knees, call, and push off. Just repeat those over and over and over again. So that the first, 4/5, 3/4 of your open turn should always be exactly the same. Those steps. So hands, elbow, knees, call. So 4 movements. That all doesn't change. Only thing that changes is your push off when you're going from fly to fly or fly to back. you just add a twist and push off versus just a push off. So you can get those first 4 movements down to be identical no matter what turn you're doing. You just have to change that tiny little part at the end instead of coming in and going straight back. Start out doing it slow. Do it slow first, and then as you get comfortable with it, you can speed up and then go faster and faster and faster. Hey, Jocelyn. That's cool. Jocelyn, we just talked a little bit about open turns and how you want to make sure that you go straight back and don't turn your hips and shoulders right away. The very last thing you want to do is turn onto your front. And for fly to back, the only difference between a fly to back turn and a butterfly to butterfly turn is you just don't flip over at the very end while you're pushing off. Everything else stays the same. There's 5 movements. The only difference is that last one. But if Jocelyn, you have questions about your own specific open turn, you can ask it now, or open turns in general before we move on to flip turns. Once I push off, I have a hard time getting into a streamline. I don't know what you mean by that, Jacob. Because you should, your elbows down here. See if I can go from the side. Your elbows down here, your hands up here. They meet and extend as you push off. So you shouldn't be pushing off until your hands are ready to go and shoot into the streamline, if that makes sense. So I think you just have to know where your hands are going to be so that you can get them into position so they're here, right? You go elbow, calling your mom. This arm comes up underneath here. This one comes back here. So you're behind your head like this. And then so as you start to push off and get farther away from the wall, your body extends out. Does that make sense? I don't know if that addresses your problem specifically. I think that answers it. You gotta make sure your entire body stays tight, and you want to make it as long and as narrow as possible as you extend coming off the wall. Good. I'm glad it makes sense. Jocelyn, do you have any questions about your open turns specifically, or open turns in general? Put your feet up too late. Jocelyn, clarify that. I don't know what you mean. Like if you put them up on the wall too late, is that what you're trying to get at? Because remember, like you just have to go in order. So you touch the wall with 2 hands, elbow your brother, bring your knees up to the wall, call your mom, and then if you're doing a stroke on your front to a stroke on your front, you twist and push off, or if you're going fly to back, you just push off. The harder, I know, but the harder, I don't understand what you mean by that, Justin, but the harder you pull your knees up. So when you hit the wall, the harder you can drive your knees up and forward towards the wall, almost try to get them to go over your shoulder, the faster you're going to be able to get your feet on the wall. Is there a point like you're just waiting for your feet to touch the wall? Is that what it is? I think that's what you're trying to get at. Your hands are here. You bring your elbow down as you pull your knees up. You shouldn't be grabbing onto the wall, right? So you shouldn't be grabbing on your hands. It should be like this. But if you put pressure, so if I'm like this, and I push with the hand that I leave my right hand on the wall. If I hit the wall like this and I put pressure a little bit on his hand and push down on my fingertips, it will help me bring my knees up faster. If you don't put any pressure, you're going to hit the wall, bounce off, and you're going to be trying to rotate with nothing to help you. So you really should try to put pressure on that hand. It will help you bring your knees up a lot faster. It'll give you something to grab onto, even though you're not really grabbing. It'd be like Spider-Man, grab with your fingertips. Does that make sense? I hope that answers your question. I hope that helps. I think that's what the problem is. But without us being in the pool and without me seeing it, it's tough to know. Do you guys have more questions on open turns, or should we move on to flip turns? You tell me. You're running the show. Just notice this picture isn't straight. I'll have to fix that. Did it bother anybody else? Yes, have you noticed that? No, you haven't told me? Or just now that I pointed it out, you can't do it. There we go. That's better. A little bit. All right, now we're good to go. Now we can solve the world's problems. Okay, any more questions on open turns? Oh, yeah, any more questions on open turns for anybody? You don't have any? Okay, cool. All right, so for flip turns, flip turns are relatively easy, but all turns are serial. And the hardest part that people have is that swimming is cyclical, right? You just do the same movement over and over and over and over and over and over. Turns are serial, so it's a series of movements, right? So open turns, you hands, elbow, knees, call, and push off. We don't really have commands like that for flip turns, but when you come in, you should set your hands up so they're like this, with palms forward at your waist, right? Your hips, I guess. But for the smallest amount of time possible, because as you're not swimming, you're not accelerating, and so you're slowing down. As soon as your hands get to that spot, I'm going to throw them up to here at the same time that you're throwing your forehead down between your knees. After that happens, you go directly from here up into your streamline as you push off the wall. After you do this motion, when your legs are coming in, you should try to point your toes in midair. And that doesn't mean extend your legs out. All that means is your feet are going to be like this. All you do is this. And it will accelerate that second half of your turn exponentially. When you're going from a front stroke to a front stroke, so freestyle, if you're doing IM, you can't push off on your back. If you're not doing IM, you can push off on your back on freestyle. However, to twist, you shouldn't be doing any of this. I see the kids go like this, and then like this to turn around. Don't use your hands to do that. Your hands should go straight from here up into a streamline. Okay? Go here, go up in your streamline and try to twist from your belly button so that the inside of your body basically is doing the twisting, and that will make your entire body roll and twist at the same time, which is exactly what you want, and it will keep you long. If you try to do it with your head too, some kids are like this. So in their body, they're twisting, but their body is twisted all in a giant, giant twist instead of being nice and small. Knowing what I just said, do you have any questions about that or your flip turn specifically? Does this help? What does it really do here? What are questions about your guys' flip turns that I didn't answer with that description? Or do you have questions about that description? The suicide turn count as a flip turn? I mean, technically you're flipping. I can go over that though if you want me to. Let's stick with front flip turns for like just a few minutes, Jacob, and then I can talk about suicide turns. No problem. Because the movement for suicide turn is closer to an open turn. That makes sense. You're just going all the way around instead of halfway. But we'll talk about suicide turns. Do you guys have any questions about regular flip turns, like backstroke to backstroke or freestyle to freestyle turns? Now's your chance to ask the questions. You flip your arms up. Where do you do that during your front turn? When you flip your arms up, like when you go from waist to here, that's the very first thing you do. Do that at the same time that you throw your head in between your knees. So here, let me see if I can show this real quick. Okay, so I'm swimming in. Let's see if I can figure this out. I swam in. I get to right here with my last stroke. As soon as this hand gets down to my waist, I bring them up. At that time, that's when I throw my head down. Does that make sense, Jocelyn? Because it's right at the beginning. Because that's your head, your head going through your legs starts it a little bit, but really where you get the power is bringing your arms up, and that's throwing your arms as hard as you possibly can. I hope that's what you're asking. If it's not, let me know. Jacob, I'm writing down suicide turn so I don't forget. Perfect. So you just want to make sure you're going palms forward, or so like your palms will be down, okay, but you're on your front. So if I'm on my front like this, right, my palms are facing the bottom of the pool because I'm going to go like this. So they're facing this way. Don't have them this way because then you can't grab the water. You want to grab the water just like you would if you were taking a stroke. Any other questions on flip turns? All right, we can talk about suicide turns. I know Jacob wants to do that. Suicide turn is basically a backwards somersault, which essentially is what your open turn is, but your open turn is only a halfway. So you hit the wall, your shoulders go back, but your knees should come up like they're going to go over your shoulders. Okay. A suicide turn, you just complete that rotation. And you grip the wall the same way. So you're on your back, you're swimming, you do however many strokes you do. What is a suicide flip turn? I want to explain it right now, Jocelyn. Your arm goes up, touch the wall, you grip on with your fingertips, and pull yourself backwards, and at the same time, your knees should come up over your shoulders. So you do a backwards somersault, but you don't arch your back to make that happen. You don't want a big arched circle. You want a nice small rotation, just like you would in a regular flip turn. But you're going backwards. Okay. And again, just like in your open turn, the harder you can pull your knees over your shoulders, the faster it's going to be. When you get in the water, you'll have to adjust a little bit because if you don't flip far enough, your feet will be too high up on the wall and you're going to push off at an angle downwards. You got to flip hard enough so your feet land at least level with your body so you can push off and not go too deep. Jacob, what specific questions do you have about a suicide turn? Your stroke count should be your stroke count for a finish. When you do normal, backstroke turns, obviously this isn't for backstroke, for backstroke to breaststroke, but you do your same count as you would for a finish on backstroke. So if your finish count is 4, your suicide turn count is 4. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, kick like mad until your hand touches the wall, grab it, and go backwards. So am I allowed to live? You are, but it slows you way down. Okay. So I don't know how to point this out. I got a piece of paper. All right. So this is your body, right? You're swimming along. Let's give me my head. My head drops down. Your body starts to arch, right? So if this is what happened, all that water starts to hit you and slow you down. You want to stay level on the surface as long as you can, and then do a quick flip, and then go back to here. You are allowed to look, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't have to, because your stroke count would be the same as a finish. You guys have any other questions on turns specifically? I think Tegan's gone. I don't know where he went. But. If you guys don't have any questions about turns, we'll take 5-10 minutes right now. Ask any questions you want about anything in the world, anything involving swimming, the weather outside, anything that's on your mind. Again, you guys are running this show. Whoever has questions. Breaststroke. What about breaststroke, Jacob? That wasn't a question, that's a word. What do you have? What are your issues with breaststroke specifically? Like, how do I make it faster? I'm trying to like remember what your stroke looks like. We talked a little bit about breaststroke on Tuesday. If you should be able to find that video on our Facebook page. We weren't able to do it on YouTube Live. A few things is that you make sure your elbows stay in front of your body. So if I'm pulling like this, you don't want to pull to here. This is the farthest you should pull back with your elbows. So your elbows have to stay up and in front of you. Yes, one of my dogs is a Jack Russell Terrier. Because Jacob, I think if I can remember correctly, you pull down really far back and you kind of get stuck right here trying to get your arms forward. If you do some flutter kick breaststroke, making sure your arms stay small and your elbows stay up and in front of you, that'll help a lot. Otherwise, make sure we talked about this a lot, not a lot, but we talked about this on Tuesday. When you tilt your hips, you got to tilt your hips forward and press them forward. That will help lift your upper body and keep your undulation going. Something else I think I noticed is you pause right here because you're not using your hips very much. You're kind of just going like this. And you want to be a nice, smooth wave all the way down the water. That'll help you move a lot faster. Your head should stay in line with your spine. Again, you shouldn't lift your body to breathe. Your hips hinging, your pelvis and your hips tilting like this, and then pressing forward should lift your upper body for you, so you don't have to lift up. I hope all that makes sense. Is there anything else specific about breaststroke that you have? A couple of people to watch. If you look up some videos of Adam Peaty, Peaty, he's from Britain, and right now he has the world records in the 100 and 200 breaststroke, I believe, for men. And I think it's 50-meter breaststroke is like a 26.8 or something like that. It's super, super fast. Breaststroke is hard though. Everything you do besides gliding is creating drag to slow you down. So the faster you can get, faster and stronger you can get from here back to here, the better. Justin, my Jack Russell's name is Jack, by the way. Any other questions about anything in the world? We'll go 6 more minutes. Questions about swimming, my dog, like Jocelyn just asked, the weather, my wonderful office that I'm in today. Why can't we point our toes when we do the breaststroke kick? Because then it would be dolphin kick. Let's see. So breaststroke was around before butterfly was. When you make it to sectionals, if we go to Iowa City, that college invented butterfly, and they started butterfly from breaststroke. So they had to make a way to delineate between the two, and so they decided to make it dolphin kick. Because I think the kick already existed, and they wanted to use it in a stroke, but breaststroke was already pushing the water, turning your feet out. So if you point your toes, even if you go around, the water pressures on the top of your feet. And for breaststroke, to make it legal for the people that make the rules, go around. My favorite Olympian, his name is Lenny Kraselberg. He swam for the United States. He had the world records in the 100 and 200 backstroke from like 94. Let's see. I think he had him in 92, 96, and 2000. And then I think in 2000, Aaron Pearsall broke his records. He's one of the team managers of the LA Current, the team for the ISL. I don't know if you guys watched any of that this past winter. It's pretty exciting. It's short course meters. They do a lot of like flat out racing, which is really exciting. Have you heard from Palmer? I haven't. I know he's back in the United States. They were starting to shut down airports and things like that in Africa, where he was in Nigeria. He officially made the Nigerian national team. I don't know what they're going to do. I haven't talked to him. I don't know how that affects things because I know he was there working with his uncle as an engineer for part of like school too. I don't know if he's fully graduated college yet, but he's doing his like internship basically there and training in the meantime. All right, 3 more minutes, guys. Get your questions in now. Any more questions, you guys? Your show. Any idea when the Y will open? I have no idea. I know they talking about May 1st, but they're hoping to do it earlier if they can. My favorite animal and celebrity. Jocelyn and Ben. So my favorite like pet animal would be a dog. My favorite wild animal would be a cheetah. My favorite celebrity. I have no idea. Is short course state canceled? Yes. Yeah, Jacob, it would have happened 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It is canceled. When they decided not to have it, they didn't want to even try to postpone it. I'm trying to think of my favorite celebrity, Jocelyn. I'm not sure. I like a lot of bands. So like my celebrities are like musicians and things like that. My favorite like artist right now is a drummer for the band called Humphreys McGee. His name is Chris Myers. That would be my favorite celebrity, but like he's not that famous. I don't know. He's in a famous-ish band. That counts. All right, 2 more minutes. Yeah, short course state is officially canceled. We'll see what happens with long course coming up and how soon we can get things back to normal, if they are. One last minute. Get your questions in. Last minute. Do another sport in high school? Not once I got into 8th grade. So I'll get to yours, Jocelyn. I played soccer and baseball and football and golf. I was part of a golf, like the junior golf league in town, all that kind of stuff. And then in junior high in 7th grade, I had to basically make the decision of what sports I was going to do for high school. And so I quit playing soccer, like organized soccer, and didn't do football anymore. I still golf now, and I golfed then, and not as much, obviously, as I would like to. But I ran cross country in the fall in 7th grade. We ran like 10 miles a day. I didn't like it. It ended up making me hate running. But I kept swimming after that, and I swam year round, and then it was eventually the only sport that I did. Jocelyn, movie celebrity, my favorite actor is Kevin Kline. You probably don't know who that is. Or currently it's Mark Wahlberg, probably. He's in a lot of movies that I like. How long have I been swimming? I started swimming for Gators when I was 5. I failed level 3 of swimming lessons twice because my kick was so bad. After that, my mom said, "Hey, you're going to join the swim team," because my older brother and older sister both swam on Gators already. You saw one of my kids in the workout video? Yeah, that was Virgil. Yeah, he was drinking a bottle, and then he finished. So then he was starting to go for the computer. So I had to pick him up and put him in that stand-up thing. I have to have the computer far enough away so that like when I stand up, you can get my whole body in the workout because I got to do stuff on the floor plus jumping jacks, all that kind of stuff. So I had to stand far enough away from the thing so it gets a wide range. He was just chilling, having a bottle. Any other questions before we finish? Last chance. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the live video. I believe it will be saved so you can look at it again. If you do have questions, shoot me emails. If you have cool like Olympic videos that you guys have watched while we haven't been in the water, send those to me. I like Caleb Dressel's NCAA 50 and Kayla Decky's Worlds 2015 1500. But yeah, go on and search up videos. I get excited watching Olympic videos and world records and all that kind of stuff. The more you can watch it, the more you can stay engaged, the more excited you guys can be for long course season. Because almost all those races, all the races in the Olympics are long course. So get excited. Another workout tomorrow. If you haven't done the one yet, number 5. We workout number 6. If you have any ideas for exercises you want to do, or if you want to do like lots of legs, lots of abs, lots of arms, that kind of stuff, shoot me emails, and I can incorporate all of those. Have a good day. Hopefully don't freeze. It's slippery, so be careful. See ya.